All right, let's get into this. Today, we're diving into a chronicle of a war that honestly was already lost before the first punch was even thrown. This isn't one of those stories about winning. It's about that last defiant roar against the darkness that's coming for everything.
Yeah, this source material does not mess around. It sets this incredibly bleak tone right from the get-go. This is not about heroes saving the day. It's more of a testament, really, to the raw, brutal struggle against an inevitable night. So how does it all begin? Well, not with a surprise invasion or some big attack. It starts with a prophecy being fulfilled. Doom didn't arrive. It was just realized. A silent, unnatural eclipse basically served as the universe's final judgment call. This world is already lost.
And you gotta understand, this threat wasn't a fleet of ships or some marching army. No, it was way more terrifying than that. It was like a negation of reality itself, a cosmic horror that literally made the air thick with dread. So, faced with this impossible, all-consuming void, two of the world's greatest champions, the Green Beast, who's basically a powerhouse of pure rage, and the celestial Sky Titan, they unleashed the only response they knew. This wasn't strategy. It was just a primal, guttural roar of defiance. And this first little exchange, man, it immediately tells you everything you need to know about the scale of this threat. You have the godlike power of these two champions just being met with absolute indifference. Their biggest hits are dismissed like someone swatting away a fly. But, brute force was the only tool they had. So completely undeterred, they just charged straight into the vortex, passing right through this portal and into the Worldeater's own soul-crushing dimension. And what they find on the other side, wow. It's a wasteland that's basically designed to break your spirit before it ever breaks your body. The silence is just deafening. And then, right from the shattered ground, out come the Void Wraiths. These are the echoes of 1 billion devoured souls, all given this twisted, malevolent form. Now, against these lesser creatures, their power finally seems to work. The Sky Titan's holy light, the Green Beast's raw fury, it creates this incredible maelstrom of destruction, and for just a second, it feels like they've found a foothold. But this moment right here, it reveals their fatal flaw. They mistake this small win for actual progress. They really believe their rage is enough to challenge the silent master of this dead realm. And they are just profoundly wrong. So they finally confront the Worldeater itself, a being people only whisper about called Galactis. And this battle, this is where their faith in pure strength is exposed for the strategic folly that it is, a sin that's about to get them utterly broken. I mean, you can't even call this a battle. It's a humiliation. Every single attack, every desperate charge is just contemptuously, effortlessly dismissed by this cosmic entity. But then, in that crucible of total failure, the Green Beast's rage just transcends all limits. He does the unthinkable. He scales this cosmic titan and seems to destroy the Worldeater in this massive, self-detonating explosion of pure fury. The whole battlefield just falls silent. And for one fleeting, impossible moment, it looks like they actually did it. They won. But you have to remember, in this war, hope is the cruelest poison of all. Nope, it was all an illusion, a perfectly orchestrated moment of false hope, designed only to make the true, soul-crushing despair that came next feel even deeper. And that truth, the realization of their utter defeat, that's the big turning point. It's the death of that heroic arrogance and the birth of a brand new, desperate and grim approach to fighting this unwinnable war. So, floating above the ruins of a city, the Sky Titan sees the cold, hard data of their failure. The world is being overrun. Their forces are totally broken and scattered, and all their best efforts, they account for a measly 10% of an effective defense. The truth is just undeniable. It's hopeless. And this is the great humbling. It's that final admission that godlike strength has completely failed them. It's the realization that the only path forward, if there even is one, doesn't lie in power, but in intellect. And so the Sky Titan, with his hope just shattered, doesn't race off to find another warrior. He goes looking for the one mind he thinks can outthink an apocalypse, the legendary tactician known only as the Shadow Strategist. Okay, so now we see how this kind of unholy alliance gets formed. This grim team-up of completely different weapons, all coming together for one single impossible purpose: just try to survive.
And the Shadow Strategist doesn't offer any hope or comforting words. He just responds with a cold, four-phase military directive. Look, this isn't a plan for victory. It's a plan to slow down their annihilation.
Their new strategy, born from that cold intellect, is a direct assault on the god machine itself. It's no longer about just punching harder. It's about identifying the source of his power and hitting it with a surgical strike. But just as they're getting ready to enact this final, desperate gambit, the Worldeater offers its own reply. It doesn't even bother to counter their strategy. It just makes it irrelevant by unleashing its entire fleet for one last, silent extermination. And this is what it all comes down to: the last champions of a doomed world charging headfirst into a wave of certain death. They're not fighting for a future they know will never come. They're fighting because, well, it's the only thing left to do. So this chronicle leaves us with this final, really thought-provoking question. It suggests that when you're facing absolute, certain doom, the true measure of your existence isn't found in winning or losing, but in the choice to stand up and fight at all.